What's going on, friends? The biggest dilemma when it comes to Harley-Davidson today is, do I buy a newer Harley-Davidson or do I buy an older one or fix it up? And honestly, if you buy an older one and you fix it up, everybody's going to ask you, how much money do you have into that bike? You could have bought a new one. Yeah, well, you know what? When it comes to Harley-Davidson, it really doesn't matter. The one thing I hate hearing at bike night is you got a guy that's got an older Evo, maybe an older twin cam, and the question always comes up, how much money do you have in that motorcycle? And some guys might say, well, I got about 20 in it. I got about 30 in it. Yeah, and then the one thing that comes up is, well, you could have bought a new one. Yeah, sure, I could have bought a new one, but I wouldn't have that one. And that right there holds a lot of weight, guys. Buying a new motorcycle is all well and good, and I'll get to that later in the video about what's great about buying a new bike, but there's just something about putting an exponential amount of money into an older Harley-Davidson. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. There's an old saying out there when it comes to just about anything, including Harley-Davidson, and it is built and not bought. When you buy a Harley-Davidson, whether it's new, used, or extremely old, you're going to put way more money into it than what it's actually worth. And to be honest with you, that is the whole point. The whole point of it is how you get into the bike. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's new, whether it's used, or whether it's just a complete piece of crap that you pulled off the side of a shed somewhere. The only thing that matters is that you love the motorcycle. We don't buy Harley-Davidson motorcycles to retire on as an investment. You do all the work to them, put all this effort, all the parts into them to make them what you want. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. You really got to forget about how much money goes into them. Now, I will say that Harley-Davidson does tend to give a little more return on your investment than the metrics. That's not just me talking, that's just what they sell for. But the thing is that you got to do this for you. Yes, you can't go buy a brand new Harley-Davidson motorcycle. You could be 40 grand in the hole on a Harley-Davidson. Or you could go spend about, I don't know, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 on an older Evo twin cam. It all depends on the year, the condition, everything. There's a lot of factors that go into what you purchase your Harley-Davidson for. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money you put into it as long as you're happy with it. Some guys like fuel injection, some guys like carburetors. That's perfectly fine. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of the newer stuff. I think the newer stuff is going to be a huge issue down the road unless we can find a way to make these prices on these electronic parts come down. Now, carburetors, as we all know, super simple, super easy, and that's why a lot of guys love the older bikes, including myself. I don't have to get on Amazon or eBay or wherever and start hunting up a bunch of used electronic parts. I just got to dig through my old jet and parts bins, and I can pretty much find what I need, and if it's not exactly what I need, I can figure out what to do to it to make it actually work. Now, when it comes to the new bikes, we'll be able to do that to a degree, I completely believe, but when it comes to newer motorcycles, I think there's going to be a lot of proprietary parts that are going to cause some issues there. Now, I am sure that anybody that rides an older Harley-Davidson, they've ever got that question, how much do you have into that bike? And you throw out that number, and they're like, oh, you could have bought a new one. You know, my response would be exactly as my response usually is yeah, I absolutely could have, but I've got a lot more into this bike than I could ever have with the new one. And the reason why I say that is, well, you know, I may have $10,000 in the motor, but it'll absolutely smoke your brand new, whatever it is, Harley-Davidson. It could be a Milwaukee 8. Well, it's probably a Milwaukee 8 at this time. But not only that, when it comes to Harley-Davidson, those bikes just have a little more soul to me than the Milwaukee 8s. It's very easy for anybody with a fat wallet to go out there and buy a 131, buy a 135, and dump it into their brand new motor. Yeah, they're probably getting out of the dealer at about $50,000. But you know what? there's something to be said about a guy that puts the motor together in his garage. Even though it's an old Evo, maybe a twin cam, doesn't matter, guys. When it comes down to it, it just boils down to what you love and what you enjoy. I don't have a problem with any bike, especially Harley-Davidson, whether it's new, old, whatever it is. As long as you enjoy it and you love it. I appreciate all the bikes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I pay more attention to the newer bikes, because to be honest with y'all, I kind of walk right by them. And when I see a Shovelhead, an Evolution, or even a Twin Cam, I'm just like, yeah, that's what I like right there. Guys, it all comes down to a matter of perspective. What do you like? What do you like to ride? So, whether you're riding an older Harley-Davidson or you are able to buy a brand new one, I don't want you to feel bad. Like, even if you're parking your bike next to a brand new Harley, don't feel bad about it. And I know a lot of you guys don't give a shit either way. But at the same time, literally, be proud of what you ride, be proud of what you own, and be happy with it. If it's a Harley-Davidson, you're welcome. It doesn't matter. Any bike, honestly, is welcome. You know, I go to a lot of rides and stuff, so I love seeing all the bikes. Whether a guy built up his Honda Shadow, his Kawasaki Vulcan, or whatever, or dude roads up on a Sportster. I'm a Sportster guy myself. I love Sportsters. That's kind of my bread and butter right there. But I do enjoy all Harley-Davidsons, and the moral of the story is that as long as it's built and not bought, but at the same time, if you just buy it, you don't have the mechanical aptitude, you got more money, you don't have those skills, that's okay too. We really don't care. Be proud of what you ride. And that is the moral of the story in this new year. Now, I think part of our issue now with people buying older motorcycles is that nobody wants to work on anything these days. They really don't. Everybody, the world has kind of got everybody wrapped into a warranty. I gotta have the warranty. Oh, I gotta get rid of it before the warranty expires. It happens with cars, and now it's really happening with motorcycles. Because the fact of the matter is that things are just absolutely ridiculously expensive to fix these days. And I feel like this is the way that manufacturers have roped us into keeping things turning, keeping their inventory turning, keeping things coming out of the factory, keeping things turning in the dealerships, is scaring you into that they're absolutely stupidly expensive to fix, which they are. And I hate to say that, because we've gotten away from the simplicity that we loved and enjoyed with Harley-Davidson for years. So everybody is so focused on getting that warranty, and I'm going to sell this motorcycle or this vehicle before the warranty is up. Yeah, a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, if you buy a new motorcycle, that's probably a very, very good idea. But if you go with an older Harley-Davidson, whether it be an Evo, twin cam, maybe even an early Milwaukee 8, there's a lot of knowledge out there. Trust the aftermarket. Trust your independent shops. There's knowledge out there. There's ways to get these done. There's ways to get these fixed. Get out and start beating some feet door to door when it comes to independent shops if you're not into the internet. There are some great ways to figure out how to fix your Harley-Davidson out there, and you don't have to rely on information from the internet, which honestly is kind of a little sketchy sometimes in my experience. But guys, there are so many paths to Harley-Davidson motorcycles, whether it's a new one, whether it's a used one. It just depends which route you want to go. But if you got the money to afford a brand new one, don't dog on somebody that's got exponential amount of money into a bike that's not even close to what it's worth monetary-wise if they were to sell it. Because that's not the whole point. Motorcycles are not a retirement investment. They're an investment in happiness and just having a damn good time and basically getting that shop time that we all need. Guys, let me know down in the comments, how do you feel about this? Do you want a new Harley-Davidson that you necessarily don't have a whole lot to worry about with, but you are very limited in what you can and cannot do with the bike to maintain the warranty? Or are you okay with going out and buying a used bike that's just kind of out in the wild and whatever happens to it, and that's all on you? Let me know how you feel about that. Which one are you more comfortable with? But guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.